bumpy road. So I want to actually discuss something that I think a lot of people encounter that are losing their hair, and I'm putting this more out there to bring it up as a topic that happens to a lot of women, and then also for people that don't get it about hair loss, women's hair loss. Because recently I had a conversation with somebody, and who, you know, it wasn't to any fault of their own. It's just like the majority of people that don't understand what's the big deal. You know, I mean, I have hair loss, my hair's short, looks good enough, I wear wigs. What's the big deal, right? It's big deal. I mean, I deal with it and I accept it, and I have accepted it, and I work with it the way I work with it. It's become, you know, one of my passions to be able to help other women navigate through what I found nearly, you know, killed me when I was dealing with it at 21. I'm 39. So, what's the big deal? Well, first off, it's outside of, in most cases, your control. Women find that they cannot simply go to the doctor and get their blood work done and find that it's something that they can point to on a chart and go, oh, eureka, it's low thyroid, it's your iron, supplements, add some biotin, and your hair is all going to come back. A lot of times, whenever these things are exhausted, women reach the place that they've realized it is completely outside of our control. So what we were born with, what we were given, is no longer us. So we are born into the world, we have the hair that we have, we look in the mirror, we see ourselves, and we think that we will get to keep that. Although everything in life is probably on loan, and that includes our limbs and life, you know. But, and you know, that's what we feel like. That's part of us. So, you know, if your hair is there, it's like an extension of you. It's like, you know, your arm. And then that gets taken away. And it's essentially been amputated, and you have no way to recover it. And it's just declining, and there's no end. And you see no way to cope or deal with what's happening. And it's a terrifying, absolutely terrifying feeling that just can be so debilitating that people can't work, people can't function, people become isolated, they don't want to socialize, just all of a sudden it's like life has no meaning. And I'm not like making use of hyperbole here. I'm saying like this is like the real deal. For many women that lose their hair, they are losing a part of themselves. Especially, it's like like as women, women's hairs are crowning glory. That's not to diminish men's hair loss, but that is like that we grow up, you know, with your hair and da 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 da. So after trying to explain why it's a big deal, still, I mean, when I say it's a big deal, it's just like, yes, I may accept it. Yes, I wear hair. Yes, I know that I can't do anything about it. I'm not going to let my hair loss destroy my life anymore. I got other things going on that can, you know, affect my life, but hair loss is not going to be one that's going to destroy my life. I got to that point that many people find it hard to reach to, like I did. It took me well over 10 years to do that. And but it matters. It still matters. It's a very emotional thing. And if you're just starting to lose your hair, you're probably finding that people don't get it. Like, because you probably still look like you have hair on your head. So they're probably like, oh, you look fine. Like, well, I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, they don't get what what happens in the process. It's just like, it's a very difficult thing to explain. And I was actually rather unsuccessful in trying to explain why it's a big deal. Even if I wear hair, even if I cut my hair short, why it still matters. You know, I can't grow my hair to be like this. I'm limited in what I can do with the way that I choose to wear my hair, my own hair, which I'm still lucky to have some and enough, quite frankly, to wear it out as is. But it's life altering. That doesn't mean that you can't get through it. That doesn't mean that you can't live your life despite hair loss. That doesn't mean that you have to, be, count yourself out of the game of living. But it's still a big deal. I know it's a big deal. And oftentimes I think like, I've been losing my hair for so friggin' long, but I think sometimes it's worse for the person that's like on day 2 of their hair loss, because I've had to go through all of those cycles and all of what's going on and the tears and the pasting of my hair on the wall when it's falling out in the shower and having to deal with that. And I reached this place. So it's like, although my hair loss may be more extensive than the person that's on day 2 of their hair loss, I feel that they're probably suffering more. And that's just a fact, because they don't know what to do, where to turn, what's going to go on, where they're going to be, where they'll end up. I mean, most people don't want to wear wigs, even though wigs are a wonderful option. It's scary. So I know this ended up being a long video, so I'm surprised anybody watched it, but I wanted to make it a conversation, and I wanted people to chime in and discuss how hair loss affected your life, and were you able to move through it? Were you able to move through it and continue on, or is it still affecting your life? Are you still having to field questions from people? Do you find that nobody's understanding you? How do you address it with people? If you're do you talk about it? So I wanted to have kind of a conversation around this, because it's a big deal. So let's start the talk. Talk soon.